Hello and welcome to another history special, and today I'm going to take a walk around the church of St Edmund's here just outside the village of Caistor St Edmund's near Norwich. Now I've already walked around the area here because it's actually built next to the Roman settlement of Venta Icenorum, and I've made a separate video about that. But this is a beautiful church. It was built, well, the nave of the church was built in the 14th century and the tower added in the 16th. And I think it's been re-roofed since, because there's evidence of of where a previous roof would have been. So the actual roof looks a little lower than looks lower today than it was when the tower was built. But it's an interesting church. It's built on a Roman road. There's evidence of Saxon burials here as well. So I'm wondering whether there was a Saxon church on the site or possibly a Roman Christian church on the site, because the Romans left Britain in around about 410 AD. The first known Christian church from the Romans was built in the Roman town of Camuludunum, which is modern day Colchester, around 330 AD. So about 80 odd years before the Romans left. So it's quite possible they would have built a second church just outside the walls here of the Roman settlement, because the Roman church in Colchester was actually outside the Roman walls. But in building this church, you can see that the builders in the 14th century have used a lot of Roman brick. And there's also a few alterations over the years with blocked up windows. But now let's go inside and take a look at the inside. This really is a beautiful church in the inside, very simple in design, as were churches of that period. And there's a lovely atmosphere in here as well of peace and tranquility. But in the chancel here, there's a couple of interesting graves, just a couple of interesting ledger slabs. The first reads, it's all in Latin, so I'm going to translate the Latin. But the first reads, "Here was laid to rest James Ravenscroft, firstborn son of Thomas Ravenscroft, knight, and Magdalena his wife. And James was born on the 17th of February and died on the 27th of February, 1660, just 10 days old. Infant mortality throughout history has always been high. It's always sad to read a gravestone of an infant. But there's another one just behind. Again, it's in Latin description, and it reads, Ursula, the daughter of Thomas Marshall, General, who died on the 24th of July, 1644. Fortunately, it doesn't give her age. 1644 was during the English Civil War, and I think that Thomas Marshall was a royalist general. He supported King Charles I and not Parliament. But let's head out back into the churchyard and close the door. take a look around the outside a little further. Absolutely fascinating going into the church and seeing those two ledger slabs on the floor of the chancel. There's a few others in there as well, but relating to local people. And the churchyard seems to be very much in use today. There's quite a few modern burials, some in recent years, very recent years. It's rather pleasant walking out around the outside. They've got an extension on this on one side. Seems to be looking through the window. There's a little kitchen area there. As I see, you can see evidence of the church undergoing some improvements here on the south side. It's got sort of plaster on the outside. But it's really rather beautiful, actually. Let's walk around the back of the church. Quite a few old gravestones. One there from 1690. That's quite an interesting one. A box tomb as well. So there's a lot of old graves here. Really is rather interesting. So, Church of St Edmund's here in the town of, or the village of Caistor St Edmund. Rather beautiful. Built on the outside of the Roman town of Venta Icenorum. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I do like looking at the architecture of churches and looking at the stonework. They really say so much about a church, especially the use of available building material, hence the Roman bricks. I'm sure looking at the stonework, the similar stones in the Roman wall that survived around Venta Icenorum. So it's pretty sure that a lot of the stone was from the Roman period. Roman walls have gone into building this church, along with the Roman tiles as well. But I hope you've enjoyed this little history special. And if you want to watch these earlier, you can do so on Patreon. If you want to subscribe to me on Patreon and sponsor my channel, there's also exclusive content there as well, which is not available on my main channel. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon for another history special somewhere else.